Sup nerds, I'm CuppaJoey and welcome back to another episode of r/insaneparents. Now, just be aware, due to the nature of this subreddit, there is some content in here that may be triggering to some people. However, if like me, you'd like to sit back and just go, wait, what? They're really upset about that? Then enjoy the episode. I don't have a door anymore. Huh? My mum ripped it off. Disrespecting your kids' privacy is just gonna make them hate you. Da 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 da. Seriously, I remember this being like a common punishment, like, oh, you lost your door privileges. Like, why is having a little bit of privacy so you can get changed, fart, squat over a mirror to check your bum hole and make sure that everything's in order as it should be? Why is, preventing that privacy any kind of good punishment? I never understood it, and I never will. Boomer parent, a logical argument from their child. I don't like your attitude. Yes, because this is the go-to excuse when your kid says something and you haven't got a proper response for it. It's always something like, I don't like your attitude, or like, you never treat me with respect, or don't talk back. Like, what is it with the phrase don't talk back? How is someone supposed to talk if it's not back to you, Karen? Are they just supposed to ignore everything you say? Karen! Why won't you listen to your child, Karen? Last year I checked my bank account and saw that my mum stole my money, almost $2,000. Where's my money? I spent it. You spent my money? My money that you stole from me? From the shared account I made when I was little so that if I ever had any trouble, for example it being stolen or disappearing, that you could help? I thought you could help. Instead you broke my trust. What are you talking about? You put money aside for a rainy day. What is all the other stuff you're jabbering in about? I didn't put it away for a rainy day. I saved it because you told me to. I'm telling you the reasoning why I'm upset. That's a rainy day fund. Meme chose. Either way, you stole my money and then spent it on what, may I ask? Well, money was tight. People weren't investing anything during the pandemic. They were scared, so my paycheck sucked. So you stole my money? Money from your child? The thing that really hurts about this is just like the blasé freaking attitude from the mum. Like the fact that the mum cares so little. Like, it isn't even about the money at this point. It's about, like they said, the trust, the fact that they, stole something from them, that they hurt them. And the fact that, OP is clearly incredibly distressed about that, and the mum's just like, spend it, whatever, wanted to do some stuff. Like, it would be one thing if she said, look, I was going to get kicked out, I needed rent, I didn't have any food, but when it's $2,000, I know how bills can add up really freaking fast, and when money's tight, it can be really bad, but, if it was on maintenance, surely she could have said something, or at least asked, Like, if it's her kid, if she was really worried, she could have asked. I know that if my dad needed money from me, I would give it to him in a heartbeat, Then again, having said that, we're really good friends as well, so, I wouldn't know what it's like to have that kind of relationship, luckily. Well, maybe, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, the fact that OP is saying, look, you're my mother and what you did really hurt me, and the fact that the mother just really doesn't seem to give a crap, that's the worst part about this one. Mum threatens to kick me out for drinking almond milk instead of cow's milk. Okay, great, I'll see you around 3 p.m. Don't even think about talking your vegan crap this weekend. I've done you a favour and disposed of the milk you left in the fridge. If you can't drink cow's milk like normal people, then you're not welcome back in this house. You're a bad influence on Joe. He's too young to hear your wacky theories. Are you being serious right now? Yep, it's for your own good. If you can't drink cow's milk like normal people, wow. What about lactose intolerant people? What are they supposed to do? I mean, over what OP is having that has absolutely freaking nothing to do with their mother. Also, I know that in China, pretty much the only milk that you can get is soy because, the dairy industry is pretty much non-existent there, so... Also, wacky theories. What's so wacky about eating vegetables? That's literally what it is. And like to throw someone's freaking milk out and then say that they're not welcome back just because they drink almond milk. Like to genuinely not want someone in your house for being vegan. Like I mean, okay, to play devil's advocate very briefly over here, which is something that I freaking hate. The absolute worst thing when it comes to vegans are like the YouTubers like Vegan Gains, for example. The real judgmental kind, which is like 0.5%. It's a very small amount of vegans. Most vegans are very, very decent people. And considering this person just has like a milk in the fridge and that's enough. And like wacky theories. I mean, for God's sake, it's just plants. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh god, like this just bothers me in so many ways. I feel the need to fart all over this mum. Remember when I was 16 and my mum made me take a picture I really liked of a friend of me off my Facebook because my tongue was sticking out in it? 'Cause I do. Isabel, please take a look. Do you want a pic of you with your tongue out as your profile photo? Call me! Oh god, yeah, because a teenager sticking their tongue out on Facebook is like the utmost degree of pure and utter debauchery that you can find on Facebook. There's definitely nothing worse than that. This is like definitely the kind of pose that I would have thrown as a teenager as well. Like, for God's sake. Like, I don't know whether this was the kind of, oh, you have your tongue out and that's very rude kind of childish implementation of rules, or whether it's just kind of she's creepily seeing way too much into this photo that's actually there. Because this is just teenagers being teenagers and like not doing any freaking harm, my god. Happy Father's Day. I wish the circumstances could be better, as I'm sure you both do too. Have a nice whatever you do, and I hope the weather's favourable. Dad, please take good care of Mum for me. She needs looking after. Only you and her can do it. If Mum wants to reach a compromise or decides to invest in mediation with me, then I'll of course be open to that and will comply. Mum did not look well today and I barely recognised her when I took off my driving glasses. Please make sure she gets all the care she needs to be healthy. I hope you two will be safe and happier alone. Love, OP. Not even a card on Mum's special birthday. What does that say about the way you feel towards her? We just got home and Mum is so upset now. Thanks for that. I didn't think you could be so cold and heartless. Well, I mean, I'm not sure what caused OP to break off from their mother, but it really doesn't seem like the dad is that much better. I mean, and if you look at the timestamps on this as well, OP basically said those two things in June. Like, essentially what OP is trying to do here is trying to set boundaries in what appears to be an extremely unhealthy relationship between both them and their mother, and I guess their father as well. But of course, there's no talk of mediation, there's no talk about, the fact that OP actually said, Mum didn't look well, and is, like, showing actual concern. And then, just because they didn't send a freaking birthday card, goes, oh, you're cold and heartless, of course, like, putting on the guilt trip, trying to make them feel bad about who they are. I mean, just looking at this, because I'm not emotionally involved, because that's the thing, is it's so freaking difficult to see these things happening to you when it is you. But as somebody that's just reading this from the outside, you can see, like, that is just classic emotional abuse at the bottom. OP did the right thing in cutting off this relationship, because damn. People are like, yeah, spanking your kids is great discipline, it shows them right from wrong, but replace the kid with an animal like a dog and suddenly their tune becomes, violence is wrong, who would hit a dog? Point is, y'all are just eager to inflict pain on kids. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. If the person or animal that you are hurting is unable to understand reason, then all it's going to understand is that you're hurting it, There are ways to punish without, inflicting violence. The way that it worked for me was withholding a treat, where it was always kind of like, well, if you're good, then you're gonna get this. And so, I think that the carrot definitely works a hell of a lot more than the stick. And similarly, I've never hit my cat, and my cat is the most well-behaved cat in the universe. He is a big soppy boy, and he loves all people, including strangers. If you sit down near him, he will just come up to you and headbutt you oh, new person, love me, you know? But yeah, violence is definitely not the answer, especially when somebody is so much smaller and weaker than you. All it teaches them is if they get something wrong, then you're going to inflict violence upon them. It doesn't teach them anything good. And it also teaches them that violence is okay when that isn't something we want to be teaching kids. If you suffered in life and want other people to suffer as you did because you turned out fine, you did not in fact turn out fine. And yep, that's what it is that, I don't want to tell people how to deal with their own trauma because, it does affect people in different ways. But surely, if you have suffered at the hands of a parent, you are going to want your kids to never have to deal with that, as you know how difficult it is. Both my parents went different ways. Both of my parents had quite difficult childhoods. I lost my mother when I was quite young, unfortunately. But my mother was very harsh, and she used to pull the whole, oh, well, my mother would have beaten me, I wouldn't have done that, I just did this, so it's not as bad, so, I was being tricked into thinking I got a good deal, when in fact she was being abusive, unfortunately. However, my father was the other way round. My father knew what it was like to have parents that didn't believe in him, and therefore he wanted to support me in every single way that he possibly could, and always made me feel like I was loved and special, and that what I was doing was good. That's, you could either break the cycle or continue it. You've got one of two ways to go. I have one parent that went one way, one parent that went another. Oi, did you block your dad? Yeah, I did. Well, why on earth would you do that over something that's racist? Mum, come on, be on my side for once. He can't be saying things like that at all. If what he was saying was a lie, then he shouldn't be saying it, but it's the truth in my opinion, and whose opinion should you follow? Your parents' opinions. Unblock him at once. You see, what OP needs to do in this situation is just put a freaking power move and block the mother as well. Seriously, I'm all for, people totally, just breaking off all contact with their racist family members. I'm always arguing with my grandfather. He'll come up with some really, just awful stuff. He'll say something like, oh, well, he was Indian, but he did the job well enough. And then I'll just be like, why would that stop him from doing a good job, Grandpa? Why are you like this, Grandpa? Yeah, this is why no one likes you. But really, that whole, well, in my opinion, it's true. Yeah, these are just terrible people, terrible parents. And also that whole, you need to follow your parents' opinions. Absolutely not. Not if they're freaking racist, This next post was after somebody found out that their mum was stalking their Instagram and was a little bit offended by a meme that they posted. Normalize speaking back to adults who are repeatedly disrespectful to you. Just because you're older, I must take disrespect? What is this about? Nothing, I just found it and reposted it. Take it down, please. If I have to tell you to quit posting inappropriate things, I will shut down your Instagram. The thing that I absolutely love about this is that, the OP, they were saying, you can talk back to parents that are disrespectful to you. They were specifically talking about when parents are being bad, but still the mum, was offended. She's telling on herself. The mum being like, how dare you disrespect me just because I disrespected you? I'm your mother, I can do what I want. Seriously, you're just telling on yourself. You're just saying, how... I mean, for God's sake, the fact that she's offended by that meme. Really, she should want her kid to stand up for themselves, not, She's basically admitting that she, disrespects her kids blatantly, And that whole, I will shut down your Instagram with the angry freaking emoji as well. Yeah, that's really gonna strengthen your relationship. You're doing great. Super upset. My brother just called me and told me that my son can't come to his wedding because he isn't vaccinated. I heard his dumbass girlfriend say her mum has cancer and she doesn't want her to get sick. Literally can't believe that he would say such a thing to me. Look like they aren't having a flower girl or ring bear. Yep, I would do the exact same thing if I found out that my friends or family or whatever, because let's face it, I wouldn't really have any friends with these beliefs, but let's say I had a distant family member that was anti-vax. I would not want their kids anywhere near my wedding, whether or not people are immunocompromised or sick. I do not want unvaccinated kids with their measles and rubella and polio and arse rot and crotch stank and skunk butthole to be coming along to my wedding and infecting everyone. Also, I like the fact that they said ring bear as opposed to ring bearer. I'm picturing his lovely little flower girl and like just this big grizzly bear comes along and then just like freaking gets on all fours and barrels down the freaking aisle just to like then present a couple of little rings in his big paw. But yeah, this is what happens when you don't vaccinate your kids. You miss out on, massive life events in your family's life, and you freaking deserve it. It's Father's Day soon, right? I'll send the card to his secretary. From now on, you will contact my secretary. Your secretary? Okay, like I was doing for the first 18 years of my freaking life. What's new? Wow, and like, why are they named Papa Bear? I'm sorry. I know that was a really silly thing to freaking get caught up on, sorry. Oh my god, I don't know why that made me laugh so much. I started to freaking choke. Because, like, from the tone of it, like, it seems very freaking, Draco and Lucius Malfoy, unloved child of the rich secretary hiring daddy over here. But the fact that he was called Papa Bear, it totally threw me. I didn't even see it until after I'd read everything. I mean, oh my goodness. I would say just, like, don't talk to him. I mean, at least you could have a nice dad in the secretary. I synced my calendar with my mum and I forgot I have my birth control implant replacement date marked 3 years from now. She saw it and texted me this while I was at work. I'm 20. Do you have a birth control implant? Why? You have an appointment to replace implant marked in your calendar? Why are you looking 3 years into the future on my calendar? We need to talk about this when you get home. I'm going to bed when I get home, and it's none of your business what I do with my body as an adult. I'm your mother. Of course it is my business if you're being unsafe and not thinking about the consequences. I feel like using birth control is the opposite of unsafe, LMAO. You are not leaving the house tomorrow until we have discussed this. You cannot behave this way when you don't have a boyfriend. Okay, I'll just tell work I'm not coming in because my mummy grounded me for not wanting to get pregnant. I'm staying at blank tonight. Talk tomorrow. Right, so this is what you do when you want your children to not trust you and have nothing to do with you. This is the exact role to take. I mean, for goodness sake, there is a reason why, medical business isn't disclosed to family members if you're an adult. It's because it's absolutely none of their freaking business. And often, a lot of the time, it is not disclosed even when they're a child. Like, for example, if it's, say, a 15-year-old girl that wants to go and get some kind of birth control and is a bit too embarrassed for her parents to be aware, then, I think that that's totally fine. It's safer than not having it, But the fact that the mum was snooping and looking 3 years into the future and doing the whole, oh, you don't have a boyfriend, so we can't, so we need to talk about this, and all that stuff about, just being outraged about it, apparently. You can't behave this way, you can't sleep with people, you can't have, make medical decisions for yourself because I'm your mother. I mean, for God's sake, she's an adult. And yeah, that whole, I'm not going into work because my mum grounded me for not wanting to get pregnant is absolutely ridiculous. I hope that OP is doing well and has gotten the hell away from their mum. My dad took away my computer that I paid for simply because I printed something twice accidentally. I mean, of course, that's, totally reasonable. I mean, first of all, you paid for it, so, even though that was your money that you earned and you spent on it, don't think that you actually own that. Child is akin to slave, remember? And also, who the hell do you think you are, making a human mistake? No. Nothing but utmost perfection, right? Parents are allowed to make as many mistakes as they want, they've earned that right, but you gotta be perfect first time or no computer. Seriously though, what a piece of crap. That's just so ridiculous. I mean, the levels that they do. Like, because you printed something twice accidentally as well, jeez. Oh, he's probably thinking that he's like teaching a hard lesson about the value of ink or some bollocks. Well, that's it for this episode of r/insane parents, showing that as long as Bobs and Karens keep on reproducing, we're gonna see more from this subreddit. And as I say at the end of every episode, if you would like to hear more from this subreddit or from any other subreddit, then do let me know in the comments. And until then, I'll see you all next time.